Ladies and gentlemen, here we go into game number 3. Before we actually do that, I do want to pimp out our little giveaway. Not little giveaway, our big giveaway that we're doing. The AZO monitor signed by all of your favorite players and casters. We got DJ Wheat, Day 9 on there. Select. You got also, you can see my fancy little Gretorp over there in the middle. Always awesome. But definitely check out AZO USA on Twitter, EIZO USA on Twitter, and you can be in the running to win that awesome monitor. We're going to go into this game number 3 right now and check out if Rox.Kis can seal the deal with a 3-0 win, or if a Liquid Jinro can actually put them on the scoreboard, because Liquid Jinro is up against Slivko.
Indeed he is, and the Zerg player for Rox.Kis is starting at the right side of the map, so we have Antigua Shipyard and cross position at that. This is going to be a very, very interesting match. I love Antigua Shipyard for Terran versus Zerg, and Jinro, I really like to see in his games. I really love to cast him. It's a little bit unfortunate that he was not able to get back into Code A in Korea just yet. He was a little bit unlucky with the qualifiers, and he faced the Zerg player in his last Code A qualifier. He faced Hyun, and Hyun was able to take him down with 2-0. Before that, Jinro lost to Violet with 2-1, and so his last TVZs were not all that successful, but now he's up against Slivko, and he might just be able to bring Team Liquid back into this clan war at the NASTL.
Yeah, I hope so. Antigua Shipyard is a pretty nice map for TVZ, although statistics give a slight favor right now according to Team Liquid. A slight favor to Zerg, I believe. I think, you know, we saw Morrow versus Leenock play out very nicely for the Terran if they know how to play this map, and just go to that end game and clamp down on that center control, and then you're really, really good. Now, this is the NASL version, so slight change. You can see even the minerals here, you know, as opposed to like GSL version, which has 8 minerals and 2 gas. This one only has 5 minerals and 1 gas, so it's a slight variation. Basically, it weakens center control a little bit, so it gives obviously both. It still gives the ability to go and expand there, but you won't be having your cake and eating it, because you can't take your expansion and also take your position at the same time without having some sort of deficit, some sort of cut into you know, your economy.
Indeed, indeed. And talking about expansions, we have expansions for both players. We have Jinro with 1 barracks into expansion without gas, just now taking 2 refineries, and his opponent is already able to saturate his second mineral line due to the hatchery. And the opening of Jinro is a little bit unusual. Usually we see just the Terran player going for gas and heading straight for reactor factory Hellions in order to make sure the Zerg doesn't get a third and kill the creep tumors. But with the build that Jinro is using right now, he gets the command center a little bit faster, but he won't be able to control his opponent that well. So let's see if Slivko is able to capitalize on it, spread that creep out a little bit further, and maybe even get that third base a lot earlier than Zergs usually do.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that opening, because I do want to talk about gasless fast expansion into some sort of factory tech. You know, Jinro actually has made it so that his opponent really doesn't know much about him. Still, right now, Slivko does have to defend against just a regular, you know, reactor Hellion type of opening. We do have a macro hatch that's going down for Slivko, which is really, really unusual. We don't normally see macro hatches go down this early. Normally, you do see that all that minerals going into spine crawlers, especially on a map like Antigua Shipyard.
Especially without gas.
Whoa, yeah, especially without gas. This is very, very weird coming out from Slivko. It's not like we haven't seen this before. It just kind of died out of the metagame for quite a long time now.
Yeah, usually you want to have that macro hatch a little bit later, especially when you favor a very Zergling heavy style. You need a lot of lava, but now we have Slivko just adding tons of drones. He's already at 39 against 25 harvesters. He's just now taking gas. The macro hatch is ready. He's getting a third queen, and he doesn't even spread his creep all that much yet. He's building the spine crawler in order to deal with Hellions as soon as they come in, but he's not spreading creep. There's nothing that the Hellions can actually kill, and now we have 2 gas coming up, so a very, very passive build by Slivko, but we'll see if he's able to capitalize on his really great economy that he has, because Jinro wasn't putting up any pressure at all, so Slivko could get away with it, and he is 20 harvesters ahead already and still building drones.
That is absolutely insane. Now, what'll help out Jinro so much is the fact that he is going for that third command center. That helps him out quite a bit. Slivko's creep spread hasn't been too great either. Not saying it's behind by any means, because he does have his bases connected, but that's not actually through creep tumor. So it's kind of surprising that he doesn't have creep tumors out and about. I would think that he would. He really can't produce of all 3 hatcheries without putting down creep tumors. So there finally goes down. But at this point, I mean, what Jinro is basically able to accomplish is the fact that his opponent isn't going in fast third, as well as not having amazing creep spread. So it does make it so that, you know, his opponent, Slivko, has to play a little bit defensive, because there can be some sort of all-in coming off of 2 base. There's a lot of different options that the Terran can be doing. Instead, what is Jinro doing? He's playing so greedy, utilizing his advantage in gas, getting the siege tanks, getting the fast orbital command center, and on top of that, getting double upgrades. This is a perfect way to play out. Jinro is playing this theoretically exceptional.
I'm a little bit weirded out by Slivko's build, to tell you the truth. He's now getting the Roach Warren and the Baneling Nest. Usually I would have expected both of them to be in the game a lot earlier if he planned on going for some kind of Roach Baneling all-in. But he's getting a second evolution chamber as well, researching the armor upgrade and probably going for the melee attack upgrade now. So the attack will hit Jinro very late, and Jinro already has his siege tank tech done. The first tank is on the high ground, so he will have siege tanks to deal with this push. And even though you already mentioned that Jinro is playing a bit greedy, is getting a lot of tech and a lot of economy, he should be able to deal with a push that late. But Slivko is now taking a third as well, so wow, droning up with 18 drones. But still, this build is it's a little bit weird. I don't know if I like it.
You know, I did say Jinro's build was a little bit greedy, but let me tell you, it's theoretically completely safe. Slivko is actually forced to play so defensive because he's behind in tech. He does that map control with something like Mutas. He needs to go this mass ground army because he's so far behind in tech. There can be so many different all-ins, whether it be Marine Marauder Hellion, just straight up Marine Siege Tank. There could be something like Marine Hellion Drop. There's a lot of different things that could kill him. That's why he's preparing with all these units, all these upgrades. This is just like defensive play for this whole time. Jinro, on the other hand, he's the one that's being very aggressive in that tech path. So he will always have the advantage in his upgrades. The 1-1 started before his opponent. The 2-2 is now starting before his opponent. So these little things are giving him a really nice advantage, and now getting his 5th and 6th gas. And, you know, really, as a Zerg player, you don't want to be equal gas against a Terran, because basically they can get all the upgrades they want, whereas you're not really putting a pressure on them. You're not doing, you know, nearly as much damage as you need to be doing for them to have 5 and 6 gas so early.
I still miss the overall strategy, to be honest. Usually what we see on a map like Antigua, the bread and butter build, is you focus on Zerglings and Infesta, and you transition, for example, into Ultralisks. But now we have just everything and for Slivko, but nothing that is really, I don't know, part of a refined build. He's getting a tech 2 Hive already, which I like, a very early tech, getting Infestus now, but +2/+2 for his ground army. He still doesn't have a huge army. He's playing very passive, and I think that's just what his build evolves around, playing passive ass, having like 3 bases, getting a 4th, spreading creep, and he's just waiting for maybe his Greater Spire, but even that timing doesn't line up because he's just now starting to build the Spire when his Hive tech is already done. So I don't know, Gretorp, building another 17 drones? Whoa. That would put him up to like 90.
Yeah, that does put him up to, looks like 89 harvesters. And Ultra's Cavern going down, this is what I was assuming. He's going to go to those 5-3 Ultralisks as soon as possible. Of course, 2-2 is quite a long ways to be done. Jinro, I think if he takes that center control, he's going to be in a really nice position. He's actually gearing up for a drop, it looks like, and at the same time pushing forward into that middle, which is correct. He is scanning really quickly for any of those Banelings to pop up, or Baneling bombs, of course. But, you know, Jinro, it's going to be a question of what and how he actually uses his army. What does he use it for? How is he actually going to aggress up on his opponent? Because he right now is behind 1 base. He's 4 base to 3, and this is a critical timing to actually be taking advantage of his opponent, because this is right when his opponent is transitioning 2-2, just about to hit for Jinro, whereas his opponent is still on 1-1.
Slivko is not putting any pressure up, but he's already in possession of a 4th base, and that is what is really difficult on Antigua. And he secures it with a lot of spine crawlers, and spine crawlers in the mineral line as well as to the left of the hatch, so he will be able to deal with drops as well. That's something that I really like. He's building the first Ultralisks now, and finally has the army composition that I was talking about. Ling, Baneling in combination with Ultralisks and Infestors. So very, very passive game by both players. But right now, with this very good economy, Slivko is actually a little bit ahead. He has too many drones to my liking, though.
Yeah, and I think that's going to hurt him when the big battle goes. Actually, Jinro's gotten a lot of drones as well, or SCVs as well. 84 to 88.
Oh, you're right.
So it does weaken him quite a bit. And up against that Ultralisk army, you don't want to actually be massing up on just Marine Siege Tank. You do want something like Marauders in your army composition, so I don't know, it might actually work out really, really nicely. Actually the +2 armor for Ultros is not even started. Here we go, though, pushing all the way forward. The Ultros are a little bit weaker. Zerglings and Banelings are splashing on all of these siege tanks, it looks like. Just not a lot of stuff out for Jinro, and Jinro might even lose his Planetary Fortress over here.
Jinro is losing a lot now. He is losing a lot. The Planetary Fortress with a lot of kills, but is going to die. Yes, there it is. And wow, 200 supply once again for Slivko, and he is just... Wow, there's a drop in the main base. Look at that. There's actually a lot of Marines in the main base.
And he's targeting down the Hive, but all these Zerglings are swarming around all these Marines. In the meantime, the natural in the 3rd is getting cleaned up very, very fast. These Ultras are just on a tear still. Only 2-2. If they were 4-2, that would have been so much better. They're just going to poop up a couple Infested Terran, take out this one siege tank. Really, really nice play by Slivko. And Slivko managed to hold off both the main attack and keep a lot of Ultros alive. He still has 3 alive from this engagement, so he's looking really, really good. Jinro, on the other hand, not so much. He probably has a really tough time because he has to remake all of these gas-intensive units.
At the same time, I have to say that Slivko is doing a couple of mistakes. He's not getting Adrenal Glands, he's not getting Chitinous Plating, we don't see +3/+3, while Jinro is now getting exactly these upgrades. So he will have a slight lead when it comes down to the upgrades. His great problem is the size of his army, and that his opponent already has a 4th. But he has a fair amount of ghosts now. And yeah, there has been a video around lately where you can actually use Snipe with the ghost very efficiently against Ultralisk if you use the mouse wheel. Yeah, I have to say that's the most imbalanced that I've seen in ages.
that is freaking crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I've debated whether or not I should implement that or not. I'm gonna check and see the MLG rules and stuff like that, and the NASL rules and the IPL rules if we actually do anything. If it's allowed, it's stupid for me not to train like that. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, on Reddit it's been huge, where you take ghosts and you actually map, instead of your scroll being like zoom in, zoom out, you actually map it to left click. And then you just hold something like R.
Sorry for interrupting you, but at the right side the hatch is going down. Yes, the Marines that were used by Jinro died to this attack, to the counter-attack by Slivko, but they did their job, they did the deed, and we have 1 less expansion now for Slivko. But yeah, in regards to the snipings, go ahead.
So you basically just scroll it down, and what it'll do, you hold R and it just mass R clicks or mass snipes everything. And you actually like kill Ultralisks, and I saw those like 2 shots, all those ghosts kill the Ultralisks. It was absolutely insane. But here we go, big battle coming in here, and this Planetary Fortress is actually going to soak up so much damage for these Marines and Marauders and the Siege Tanks to do a lot of stuff. You can see, oh my god, the Planetary Fortress actually goes down, but the Zerg Onslaught is going to continue forward. You lose a lot of units in this engagement. Slivko, that is. Will Jinro actually counterattack here?
He lost way too much. He lost like 70 supply, and he actually lost more than 70 supply. Once again, we have a drop in the main base of Slivko. There are the Marines at the ramp, circlings everywhere. He built like 50 of them, and they all pop out and take on the Marines. But you can see that Jinro has now a little bit of momentum going for him because he has the better army now, as Slivko just sacrificed everything he had to take down the planetary, and Jinro is using his units in order to take down the attempts of Slivko to get additional bases.
Oh man, Slivko is just... This is not good. Oh, nice snipes! He actually snipes off every single baneling trying to get in there. But, you know, Slivko couldn't have done that worse at that point. He just streamed in Zerglings. Then with the medevac count and how many Marines there were, it didn't matter how many Zerglings. You could have 1,000 Zerglings, you would still kill all those Zerglings. Or, yeah, the Marines would still kill all those Zerglings. But at this point, Slivko, I feel like he's just throwing the game. He was so far ahead of his opponent, killing all the major engagements. Now Jinro, as you said, has a lot of momentum, clawing his way back into the bottom right. Expansions really aren't doing anything for Slivko. And then again, another drop.
Exactly, at the top right, he's going once again for the hive, but, well, the queen and, of course, all the ground units are doing a good job repelling this drop. At the same time, I still have to note again, no chitinous plating for Slivko, no adrenal glands, and he researched +3 attack, but we still have to wait for +3 armor to be started. And now the Greater Spire is dead as well, so Slivko is losing bases left, right, bottom, and center. At the top left, we have a bunch of Marauders that took out one expansion. At the bottom right, we see another Bioforce targeting down another hatch. So Jinro on 200 supply is looking really good now, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Jinro is actually winning this game or if Slivko is losing it.
Yeah, it feels like Jinro is just on top right now. You know, it's really, really weird that Slivko, you know, isn't getting all these critical upgrades. Getting those 5/3 Ultralisks are one of the most important, or 3/5 I should say, one of the most important things. Having 6 armor on those Ultras make Marines deal very, very minimal damage. It's only a total of 3 attack they can do if they're at +3 attack, that is. But you know, little things like that, empowering the Marines by so much, only having 2 armor, 3 in total, actually doubles the DPS of those Marines. That's quite dramatic.
We have another drop at the top, but immediately being taken out by the army of Slivko. Jinro still with 4 bases now. He's kind of happy. At the bottom right, we have another drop coming for Jinro. It's just everywhere right now. And he's taking down drones of his opponent and pulling... Yeah, Slivko is down to 130 supply right now. He might even lose this base.
Yeah, he's mounting an attack in the middle. It looks like just so many ghosts out here. They're going to snipe down the Broodlord. Easy peasy lemon cheesy. In the meantime, it looks like that bottom right hand expansion was taken out.
There is a lot of ghosts. That's 18.
Where? Oh my god. 18 ghosts out in the field, man. And when you're at that point, I mean, what can you really do, right? I mean, Ultralisks die so fast to those snipes. Broodlords die so fast, so you have to kind of rely on the lesser units, Zerglings, Banelings. Those are the ones that are going to be dealing the damage. Again, bottom right-hand expansion. Looks like it will be taken out. Barely. It's just this one Marauder. 82 life left. You know, it's just not going to take that much to actually kill that. But here we go. Big attack is about to engage right here. Snipes going down on the Ultralisk. Is it going to be in time, though? There's just so many ghosts, and you might not have enough time. Where are those Zerglings? GG. And there you go. You know, I have to say, if Slivko didn't waste all those Zerglings in, you know, just streamlining into Marines and medevacs, that end fight could have gotten a lot differently. Because when you have that many ghosts, I mean, you saw 18 at that end stage. That's a lot of supply to actually be going into to just ghosts. And when you don't have a lot of Ultralisks, ghosts are still good. Don't get me wrong. They 2-shot Zerglings every single time. But still, if you have those mass units, they don't have like the highest DPS. They can't really deal with so many of these units. There's a lot of overkill that goes into those Zerglings. You're looking in a position where it could be really, really, really tough.
Yeah, definitely. Ghosts are very, very nice against Broodlords and Ultralisks. They obviously don't do all that well against Zerglings. Still against Banelings with the snipe, if you have the micro to pull it off, you can kill a lot of Banelings as well. And he always had a nice position at the planetary, which helps out a lot, obviously. But in the end, it just was not enough for Slivko in order to win this game. And I have to say a nice fungal on the Ghost would have helped a lot, but there was still all those minor mistakes that he did, and in the end, Jino just proved to be the maybe more experienced player, the player that was just able to capitalize on his opponent's mistakes the most.
Yeah. I mean, you saw him lose out in a lot of battles and then come back miraculously, it felt like. His positioning of the siege tanks, he would put like siege tanks in between supply depots and destructive debris to make it impossible for Zerg to really do anything about it. So just really, really nice position in that. You know, you had the Planetary Fortress always in a great place, and the drops were just non-stop drops. So it was really, really nice play. And Jinro is going to put Team Liquid on the scoreboard, where I thought it was kind of like breathtaking, or not breathtaking, or, you know, it was kind of, what's the word? I was apprehensive about, you know, them losing 3-0 and them, of course, being 3-0. Team Liquid being 3-0. Rox.Kis being 0-3. But we're going to go into game number 4 and see if Team Liquid can tie this off, or if Rox.Kis can actually come back into this. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back with game number 4. Brain fart. And we'll be back. All right. Catch you then.